Howdy, friends. Tulio here behind the wheel again. And I'm going to take you in a direction a bit north and east of downtown Colorado Springs, not too far. And we are driving past the Colorado Springs Country Club right now. It's a private country club. It's really pretty. My team does a tournament there every year that we sponsor for a local school. And as you're working your way there, there's a lot of little patio homes. But then when you get to this, past the country club, you get to this neat subdivision. It's kind of tucked back here. It's called St. Andrews. There's the sign. And I have a little bit of history with this neighborhood. When I first started in real estate, I got introduced to the builder in here. And I ended up getting to list a lot of the homes towards their last couple of years in here. So I spent a lot of time working. They didn't really have a model. They just had a lot of inventory homes that they would build one and I would sit that home. Then they would build another one. I would sit that home and do a lot of open houses. So that was kind of a way that I started my business. And this is a pretty cool neighborhood. It's got some big homes and it's right up against the mountainside, the bluffs of Palmer Park, which is a beautiful park. That's a city park. It's not just like a, swing sets and merry-go-rounds. It's like mountainous with like 700 acres and tons of places to go, like miles and miles of hiking, mountain biking. You feel like you went into the mountains and it's in the middle of town. It's super cool. But this neighborhood has some huge houses. And there's like that one right there is cool. It's Santa Fe style. You don't see many of those here in Colorado Springs. You will get a good mix of 2 stories, ranchers, lots of stucco on the homes in this neighborhood. As you can see, I was talking about how the neighborhood abuts to Palmer Park, and see this mountainside right here. That's part of Palmer Park. It's like the backside of it. I'm gonna pan the camera over a little bit so you can see there's Pike's Peak in the distance. These homes have some tremendous views. And we're talking million plus on these ones with these superior lots with extraordinary mountain views. There's homes that aren't as big as these. These are like 5,000 footers, square foot total, including basements. Most basements are finished in this neighborhood. So this neighborhood was built in the mid to late 90s. Kind of closed it out in 1999. Actually, these hillside houses right here were some of the last ones I sold in 1999. Now they come available, as resales. And a lot of people have done really nice jobs remodeling them at this point. Just going to keep taking you up and down a few of the streets here. We had a snow here recently, so there's some snow lingering. There's a pretty cool view right there of Palmer Park. See that mountainside up there? It's a big rocky formation. You can hike up to the top of those. Someone cleared a house from a lot here and they're rebuilding. People will do that if they have the money to do it because it's such a pretty setting here that hard to reproduce. So someone bought a house and scraped it and starting over. Some of these houses have relatively steep driveways. I mean, they're not ridiculous, but they're a little bit steep. Yeah, if you own one of these houses, you could just walk right out your backyard. Most of the people that back to Palmer Park will have a gate on their back fence, so they can just hike right into Palmer Park from their backyard. And then, yeah, if you're into hiking or mountain biking, the park is yours. Now, it's such a mountainous type of terrain back there, though, that if you have pets, you do have to be careful because there will be things like mountain lions, lynx, and even bear that can live in that park. You don't see them much, but people here say they do see them. Now, one thing you'll notice also in this neighborhood is if you're going to have fencing, it has to be wrought iron. You got to be able to see through it, and there is a homeowners association in here. And they are very mindful of things like that. It's kind of cool because when you go in hikes up there, you get such a different perspective of this neighborhood and the city, to be honest. When you live in Colorado Springs, you can pretty much, if you're in the city proper, if you're way out east, different. But if you're in the city, you can start hiking like in the mountains. You can be there like in 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you live. But when you live like in a neighborhood like this or in town, you can just hit Palmer Park and go for a great hike and feel like you were in the mountains. As you can see, these houses across the street, they're not small by any means. They're all about 3,000 square foot or so to 3,600. And they're nice homes. They are more traditional homes, whereas the ones we started with were kind of like mansion-ish. It's a great neighborhood, though. And it's really tucked in here, you know. It's not, you don't just easily pass this neighborhood. You have to come here with an intention. Like you got to pretty much know someone. My daughter, Olivia, her best friend, Lucy, lives in this neighborhood. And we're always bringing her here and picking her up, dropping her off, all that kind of stuff. As you get back here to the end of the neighborhood, you kind of see where the neighborhood started. These are some of the first homes. And then the houses just got bigger as they built. But everybody really takes good care of their houses. And you kind of have to. I'm not saying the HOA is super militant, but they don't mess around. There's pretty extraordinary views from a lot of homes. And in many cases, you think here in Colorado Springs, you know, people want to take the views off of the back of their homes. And that's more so because that's where your deck is. But the builder here with homes that can do it, if they had a front that faced the mountains, in many cases, the builder put like a front deck of some sort on homes so that people who ended up buying one of those could still go and sit outside and capture some views. There are a lot of homes here that just left their backyards open and didn't do fencing at all. And if you don't have a pet, then you can do that. Or you can do the invisible fencing as well. So go ahead and pull out of here. And that neighborhood is called St. Andrews. They named it after the golf course in Scotland because much of it backs up to the Colorado Springs Country Club. So that is one more super cool neighborhood here in Colorado Springs, what I would call the Old Northeast. I say this all the time, but the city has grown bigger. So there's further north and further east now. But anyway, cool neighborhood. If one wants to and can afford to live in such a neighborhood and wants to live up against Palmer Park, great neighborhood for them. So hey, if you like these videos, make sure to follow, like, or subscribe to this channel, and I'll keep bringing you more. See you soon.